Good evening and welcome to NNX, where we give you campus news faster than you can eat a bowl of mac and cheese. I'm Michaela Denault.
And I'm Maria Heim. Let's dive right into tonight's stories. Following the closure of foster schools and desegregation efforts in Evanston, students living in the 5th Ward have not had access to a community school, but plans to change that may soon be underway. NNN's Julia Richardson has more.
The District 65 School Board unanimously approving a plan last month to redraw district lines, ensuring that all elementary students live walking distance from their neighborhood schools.
We've delayed this process for far too long.
The plan also includes a new K-8 school in the 5th Ward, a goal community members have been advocating for decades.
For it to really be at the brink of happening is very exciting.
After losing their neighborhood school in 1967 as a part of integration, students in the 5th Ward are still feeling the effects. Oftentimes, kids living on the same street may attend different schools.
That had an effect because I had friends who I didn't go to school with, so we only got to play for a few hours. And the same rings true for my kids now.
As a result, 5th Ward kids are less connected to their communities.
It is critically important that people who live together go to school together.
City Council and school board members say they hope the new school will help foster the connection that the 5th Ward lacks, and that community members are involved every step of the way.
It does belong to the community, and it's important that the neighborhood feels that way.
A 5th Ward school long awaited by the Evanston community. Julia Richardson, Northwestern News Network.
And Julia joins us virtually now. What's the time frame for the school's construction, and are things still on track?
Yeah, so I did talk to Marquise Weatherspoon, who is a school board member. She told me that a preliminary design should be done for the school by the end of this year after the city does some initial zoning work, and that construction could begin as early as May of next year.
Thank you. Now, as I understand it, kids in the 5th Ward are used to being bused to schools all over town, but you've been hearing from community members that this is not always easy. Can you elaborate?
Yeah, absolutely. So I did talk to a 5th Ward mom. She has a kindergartner who goes to Willard Elementary School, and she told me that she actually doesn't have her son take the bus because it's an extra hour-and-a-half commute every day. It's 45 minutes each way, even though they only live 2 miles from their school. And the reasoning for this is that all the Willard students are bused with another group of students who go to a magnet school. The magnet school actually starts a little bit earlier than Willard does, and so all those kids have to spend extra time on the bus. And also the board member I talked about before, Marquise Weatherspoon, she actually grew up in the 5th Ward. She told me that when she was growing up and she was being bused to school, she would be tired before she even got to the building, set foot in the building. In the mornings, and she told me that, the bus was often late. She would get to school late a lot of the time, and she would be standing out in extreme weather conditions, whether that was extreme heat, extreme cold. And so, the general consensus is that the bus is supposed to make people's lives easier and families' lives easier, lessen the load, but it's actually doing the opposite, and it's causing stress. It's causing stress for these families.
Terrific reporting as always, Julia. Thanks for joining us.
And speaking of new projects, through its innovation and finance classes, Evanston's Youth Job Center is helping make dreams come true. The program is for Black entrepreneurs ages 18 to 30 and is in partnership with Oakton Community College and Northwestern. 30-year-old Elizabeth Granberry is a loctician, a cosmetologist specializing in dreadlocks. She spoke about the impact the program is having on her and other young Black entrepreneurs.
A lot of African American youth, we're very talented. We just don't know what to do with what we might even see as like a hobby or just something we're good at. We can turn that into like a career.
And Lily joins us now in the studio. How did the Youth Job Center recruit entrepreneurs for this program?
the project manager, Jalea Woodson, posted flyers advertising the program in local barbershops, nail salons, and restaurants. The Youth Job Center also asked its partners, like Northwestern, to spread the word.
Thanks, Lily. Maria?
Thanks, Michaela. With Passover just 2 days away, Northwestern Hillel is hosting Seders as well as other programming this weekend for celebrating students. All students are welcome to attend the celebrations at Hillel. Passover is an important Jewish holiday that remembers the story of the Israelites' freedom from slavery. Celebration of the holiday includes a Seder feast on Friday and Saturday nights.
Passover just becomes this incredible time of the year when there's so many opportunities for students, whether they feel deeply engaged with their Judaism or just like kind of Jewish, to find an opportunity to connect in a way that's meaningful for them.
Even though the kosher stations at dining halls will remain closed during Passover, kosher meals will still be available at Hillel.
April is definitely a busy month for holidays because while some are celebrating Passover, other students are finding community during Ramadan, the holiest month of the year for Muslims. The Muslim Cultural Student Association, MCSA, is hosting a group prayer and iftars after sunset meals that break the daily fast. Foster Walker Complex East is also open for Muslim students from 7 to 10 p.m., offering halal choices even when MCSA events aren't taking place. Students reflect on what this time means to them.
Ramadan is like one of those times where people will find themselves coming to things if they haven't really before. So I really love that MCSA provides that time and opportunity.
According to participants, MCSA events are open to all, regardless of religious or cultural affiliation. Maria?
Thanks, Michaela. Last Thursday, a vigil was held at the Alice Miller Chapel to pray for the lives lost in the war in Ukraine. Names of perished Ukrainians read one after another, followed by moments of silence. Vigil organizers, Northwestern for Ukraine, said that if you wish to donate to support Ukrainians, you can go to www.standwithukraine.how for a full list of organizations.
Back in 1995, a group of Northwestern students protested with a hunger strike with the hopes of getting the university to create an Asian American Studies program. Yesterday marked the 27th anniversary of the strike, and David Kahn, one of those strikers, commemorated the anniversary by visiting campus and offering a first-hand account of the events. Kahn himself didn't eat for 3 days, while another protester, Charles Chun, went 12 days without a meal. But with midterms approaching, many strikers just couldn't continue.
If we want to get stuff done, we need to be disruptive. We can't be polite.
In 1999, Northwestern founded its Asian American Studies program under Jian Ya, the program's first faculty member. Though much work remains, Ya credits the organizers for their aid in establishing today's program.
Now there's some good news tonight as Andrew Rowan reports that on how women on campus have been able to shoot and score their way to the top of the ladder of the sports media.
The first pitch is in and called for a strike.
This is the first female duo in recent memory to call a Northwestern baseball game on WNUR.
Kingston will slide in, so a sacrifice fly.
50% of the radio station's sports executive board are women. 2 years ago, there were none. And in newsrooms nationally, women make up only 14% of sports reporters.
I'm sitting here as sports director right now, but if you would have told me that about a year ago, I would have laughed in your face.
Today's community of women in sports media say they wouldn't be where they are today, up there in that press box, without the women who came before them.
Even seeing one woman on that screen was like, okay, I feel like I could do this.
For Bria Losick,
I think these girls really have a chance to get into their groove today.
That woman was Margaret Fleming.
I didn't think about the impacts of me being there would cause people who were into sports broadcasting to actually join, so that's just really an honor.
Seeing that executive board post full of women,
I don't even know, it makes me emotional to think about it.
It takes that one person to take that step and allows a lot of other people to follow in their footsteps.
Leah Asimakopoulos and Claire Kawana have also taken that first step. They're co-presidents of Northwestern's chapter of American Women in Sports Media. The group hosts guest speakers, holds development events like offering free headshots, and fosters a sense of camaraderie.
Having that community, whether it just is to vent or look for advice, is really important.
And despite the progress, they're pushing for more women to take leadership roles in campus publications.
Having people like front-facing that are not like your stereotypical white male in sports is the biggest thing that we can do.
And beyond the sports, it's a community
to meet amazing women that you might not meet otherwise.
Covering teams as a team. Andrew Rowan, Northwestern News Network.
They're certainly setting the precedent for many generations to come, and we look forward to that.
Well, that's all the time we have for tonight. Thank you so much for watching.
Catch this week's Northwestern News Report on our social media, where we're Northwestern News Network on Facebook and at NNN_news on Instagram and Twitter. I'm Maria Heim.
And I'm Michaela Denault. Have a great night.